talking about that, when I signed, I just had a thing there, a vision, mental side. I signed on the same day as Joey Beauchamp.
God, I remember him. God.
Because I remember talking to Harry and Billy Bonds, and they went to me, listen, we signed a fantastic player here today as well. You know, because obviously I had Chelsea sniffing.
Yeah.
So I went, oh yeah. They said, yeah, Joey Beauchamp. He said he's from Oxford. And to be fair, he was quite talented.
Yeah.
I said, lovely. You know, that's good then anyway. Cut a long story short. 2 days later, I'm sitting on the bus with him. We're going to Eastbourne. And he says to me, I didn't realise it was 2.5 hours from Oxford. I said, oh no. He went, I've got to leave. I said, you're having a fucking laugh, ain't you? And this is a true story. I said, I wouldn't go public with that one. I said, they'll lynch you. But he did. And I think he lasted about a week and a half or something like that.
Before then, because obviously you're a West Ham boy, you born and bred, you know.
Yeah.
And is that, you know, was West Ham always going to be your club when you support, you know, obviously from a kid?
Well, I signed for Tottenham when I was 11, but obviously my mum and dad, their parents was all out of Bow, all out of Stepney. So it was one of those, we moved out of the East End when I was about 7 or 8. But obviously the desire to play for West Ham because the connections was massive. So when Chelsea did agree $1 million or whatever it was at the time with West Ham, it was a big decision for me because obviously Oddwood took me to Swindon and he was then, so it basically kick-started my career really. He knew me from a kid at Tottenham. So that was probably the big thing. But when I met Billy and sat down, and then it was just one of those moments that you just knew it was right. Your heart ruled your head a little bit. I suppose Chelsea was a bigger club maybe at the time in terms of, you know, would they offer you a better deal, whatnot. But I just wanted to sign with West Ham. So it was all tied up within a day. I couldn't have had 9 years, a better time at a club. I had an affiliation with the fans, and obviously it suited me. It suited my character, I think, that club. I loved the training ground. I loved the lads. I loved everything about it. And the history of West Ham and everything else. And as I say, I look back, I made the right decision 100%, but that was it. It was fantastic. I mean, if you was a little bit down and you'd had a bad week in terms of losing, you'd brighten each other up. It was a place where it was, you know, the banter was there all the time. And I think Harry saw that as well. Harry Redknapp saw that because Billy left after a few weeks when I was there, which was bad. But I think Harry got together characters that it suited the way we was as a group. So if you had, say, half a dozen of us that were strong British characters, if you like, then we got a long way on that team spirit, I think. Yeah. And, you know, the everyday banter, you couldn't let your guard down, mate. It was fantastic there. And I just used to laugh. Some days I'd come home, I'd sit indoors when I get in and just couldn't stop. Like, my guts were killing me from laughing at what happened, you know, during the day. But it was brilliant times.
And actually, it was funny. We interviewed a fan, and he was at the training ground that day. And they, you know, when they used to hang around Chadwell Heath, and sometimes they let him in. And then it was the last time he was allowed back, unfortunately. When you came in, start butt naked with your hair white. It was absolutely mental.
Well, I thought the problem was when it was cold, freezing cold. The lads used, especially the foreign boys, used to nick the kit, and I thought, well, I've got to make a stand here. So I went to Eddie, and I loved it. And I said, Ed, tracksuit, mate. He went, only what's in the bin, Monk. I said, where's go in the bin? So I thought, right, that's it. So I've peeled off. I just had my boots on, and I come flying out. And there was this massive puddle, and I went done a Klinsmann through it, jumped up in the air, and I said, right, I'm taking the warm up today, boys. But the thing was, Harry had seen me tear past his window. So he's had a double take. He's come flying out of the office. Get him in here, So anyway, I've gone in the office. He said, we've got Sky cameras here today. Are you mad? I said, well, I'm telling you, unless I get a tracksuit every day when I want one, I've been here 7 years, I said, I'm doing it every time. He went, right, we'll sort it out. He said, Eddie, make sure he's always got a top or a tracksuit put by for him, whatever you do. So that was the, it worked. It was. And people like the foreigners mixed in, they couldn't believe it half the time.
No.
I mean, one fella, I did laugh, David Suga come out, and he was a golden boot by Real Madrid 2 years. And there was something wrong with his groin. I don't know, he couldn't kick the ball. I said, you got the golden Wellington here, I said. The way you're playing, like that was the banter. So I got on well with him. So I was buying a few shares at the time, and he gave me this. He said, "Look," because he was very high up with a lot of people.
Sure.
So he said, "I've got some shares for you, Monk." He said, because obviously the lads, I had a few disasters because I was buying and selling a few shares. Didn't know what I was doing really.
Yeah.
But it was just like having a gamble. Anyway, this share. So he went right. 2 weeks' time, there's a warning, there's a statement coming out. We'll have it. Yeah, we'll have our money back. So Harry's hearing, Wiggins. So Harry's gone. What's that then? Anyway, we all had a bit of this share. We're waiting. 2 weeks later, it fell out. The bottom fell out of it. They had a profits warning. We've all done our dough, right? So in trading, I'm steaming into him, crack, kicking him up in the air, smash, like. And in the end, Davo, I used to call him Dave's getting up, going, Harry, and he's going, play on, what's the matter with you? Enough to say, I've done me dough and all. Kick him some more, he's going. But it was all in good taste, you know what I mean?
The fact is, Isaac, on a Saturday, I turn up, we were playing Bradford. I didn't think we're going to have a game that we still talk about 20-odd years later, do you know what I mean? Such a mental...
Yeah. Well, it was, as you say, it had everything. I think Shaka broke his leg.
He did, early
on. I scored and then couldn't get my shirt back on, and then I had a row with Harry half time because I'll give a penalty away straight after. Yes, so it was like he's like, I can put, you're taking your shirt off. That's why you give the penalty away. You couldn't get back on. So I've said, well, fuck me, let me enjoy it. I said I ain't scored for about 6 months, so it was like, And then second half we had like 4-2 down, and we had the infamous penalties, didn't we? Di Canio got fouled. He probably, out of them 4 fouls, or 2 of them were blatant penalties.
Yeah, it was.
He had his head off, didn't he? He had a nearly went off, take me off and all that. Then they had the wrestle over the penalty when we finally got one. And it was just fantastic. And then Joey Cole and Frank Lampard scored the 2 sort of, the young boys, we called them. Yeah. Scored the 2 goals. I think we won, was it 5-4?
5-4, yeah.
What was funny as well, Stevie Bywell was quite a character.
Yeah.
He had a lot of confidence, and he was only young, but he had a nightmare that day. And it was the first game where we had them screens around the side.
Yeah.
We put them up, and someone's had a shot. He's already let 2 in. Someone's had a shot that's going towards the thing. But he's looking up at the self on the screen because they've got him on the screen. And the whole crowd sort of said, Harry, screaming at him because he ain't even looking at the game. But it was a mad game.